Hi guys, back on the bank today, and we're going to do a little bit more BFS fishing. I've come to a spot I've not been to for a little while. It looks like chocolate, so we'll see how we get on. But the main aim of the game today is to use some of the smaller lures, and we'll do a little bit of a quick test. Actually, we'll do a casting test with some of the real lightweight lures, kind of 1 gram-ish, stuff like that. I suspect if anything's going to work today, it's probably going to be some spinners, but we'll see. So we'll do a little bit of casting. I'm going to start off with this little chap though, a little monkey lure on a 2.7 gram jig head, so it's about 4.5 grams in total, about the mid-weight range-ish. We'll cast around a few of these boats, see if we can find any fish, and then we'll do a little bit of casting with some lighter lures, and I'll show you how the Aldebaran handles those different weights. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, catch you on the bank soon. Okay guys, I think we'll just another boat go through, so I'm just going to, while the water settles, we'll just do a little bit of casting with a few different weight lures, because it's a nice open bit of water. It's fairly clear here, so we hopefully can see where the lure's landing fairly easily. So yeah, I won't go through the setup too much, but pike over there straight away. So we'll go pointing. I think you will not be able to see that, so I'll have a couple of casts with this just for context, because that's what we've been using so far. So that's a 2.7 gram jig head on a little monkey lure. So the total weight, I'll put a shot in the video of the total weight, but it's about 4.5 grams, something like that. So we've got the brake set just below 5. I'm just going to do a fairly standard side cast like that. I'm going to try and keep that as consistent as I can. So we'll cast with that one first. We'll have a couple of casts with that, 2 or 3, just to kind of gauge the distance. I'm not putting loads of effort in. Just trying, I'm not very good at gauging distance, but that's 20 feet, 25 feet, maybe, something like that. I'll see if I can be a bit more accurate somehow. And as I say, I'm not loading the rod tip, I'm not putting lots of effort in. That's a fairly gentle side cast, so I could quite easily cast that further. So let's give it a go. So I'm going to take the brakes down a touch, and let's see how far I can cast across here. So I'll try and work out the actual distance of this spot just for reference, but let me just see how far that casts. Okay, so that's got to be 80% of the distance easily, and that I wasn't loading the rod tip there, I just put a bit more effort into the cast. I'm quite easily covering the distance that I need to with that weight. Now, it'd be interesting to see if we can do that with some lower weights as well. Okay guys, so we've just had a few casts with this one. So as I say, I'll put the weight down here somewhere, but I think this is about 4.5 grams, I'm guessing. We've got then a little capito shad here, which we'll do next. So this is 1.2 grams jig head. So this is going to be probably 2.5, maybe 3, something like that. And then we've got this one, which is tiny. So this is probably going to be about, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 grams total weight, I'm guessing. Now, I'll caveat all of this in advance with I'm not expecting to catch any fish on these here at this moment. It's just a casting test. So this one we got at about 80%, so we'll try these two. So we'll go with this one next. That one back. Okay, there we go. So however much that weighs, I'll probably have to just, well, I'll keep the brake settings where they are to begin with. Let's just start with that. And that's obviously not casting quite as far with the brake settings like that, so that was about 60% of the way across versus the 80% of the monkey lure on the slightly heavier one. Take the brakes down a little bit further, so I'm just going to drop the brakes to just a touch over 4. Similar colour. There we go. And straight away with that little change, that's probably not quite as far as the other one, so that might be, call that, what, 75%? Let's do that again. Okay, so still not quite as far. Got the brakes on 4 there. But that's 75, somewhere between 75 and 80%. It's not 80, it's not as far as the 4 gram or the first lure, however heavy that one is. Drop the brakes a fraction again, so just going below, just below 4 there, and I'll do the same again. So I don't really want to backlash, but I kind of did there. So yeah, not a bad one, but that's kind of the limit for that, I would say. So I would say then, for that weight, so this combination, so this is going to be a combination of the line, the braid obviously, the little trace I've got, and how heavy that little lure is. 4 looks like the limit. Let's just try that again. Yeah, so no backlashes this time, and actually that's probably not far off that first lure actually. So I'm going to call that about the same. I think I'm getting about the same distance. I think the other ones, the slightly heavy one's he's going to go further with a bit more effort, granted, but using the same kind of effort, casting effort, I'm kind of getting parity on the lure, and the lure is going to be probably, we'll weigh them, but it's probably going to be about a gram lighter, I would guess, something like that. Right, there we go. So that is tiny. Might just jig with this down the edge just to see if there's any perch down here actually. I think I've got my line twisted somewhere there. Right. Okay. So I've got the brakes on 4, that wasn't going anywhere then, was it? Okay, let's just try and cast that. I've got the brakes on 4. I'm not going to go too heavy just in case we backlash. So no backlash. Obviously nowhere near as far as the first 2 lures. And I think this, from a weight point of view, will be very difficult to cast much further without backlashing, but we'll give it a go. So we're down to, let's just find this spot here because it's a little bit clearer. So I'll show you guys up a bit. So we're on 4. I think this is probably a gram and a half. Let's just, don't know where that went. There, it went there. So I'm with that faster cast, I'm losing accuracy there because I wasn't quite sure where that was going. No backlashes because I've got my brakes. I've still got my brakes set on 4. And I'm probably about 50% of the distance there. So I'm not casting that as far. I can't cast that as far, I don't think. So let's just do that again. So it's, well, you know, to be fair, that's casting straight, and that's a bit further that time. So that's probably 60% of the distance. So again, no backlashes, that's the key thing. I'm not getting any problems with backlashes here. Because that's casting, what, 20-25 feet. Fairly consistently. Three casts out of 3 have landed roughly in the same spot. So, yeah, that's kind of where you get backlashes when you try and do things like that. That doesn't work. So let me just try and cast up the margin with this and see. I'm not going to try and cast as far. Yeah, okay. That works better, doesn't it? So a slightly gentler cast. I'm not going for distance, I just want to fish the margin. That works. Okay, so what does that tell me? Probably what I expected. The heavier lures go further than the lighter lures, but the capability is definitely there. So this is going to cast lures 1.5 grams. I'm not going to be able to cast it miles, but you're not going to, because you're going to be fishing margins, etc. with those kind of lures anyway. So yeah, I would say that's very capable, and no backlashes really, apart from ones I forced. It's good. Let's see if we can find some fish now. Just under the wall on the far side of the canal, which is just where I want it. And this I think is probably where a little spinner might... Oh! Wow. Hopefully that came out of camera. Yep. It's a much smaller pike than the one I saw the first time. Easy on hook. Got a nice little jack. Now that was a bit smaller than the first one I saw. So maybe a couple more casts down here, but we'll let that one go. The bite, I think. Been a bit of rubbish in the water. Let's try that again. Yep, that's That's Mr. Pike. Oh no, it's not. Bloody hell. Guys, no way. That is a perch. Oh, I think we'll have to get the mat out to have a look at this one, guys. That is a nice perch. That's got to be my PB perch, I'd say. Oh yeah. What a fish. That's an absolute cracker for me. I am pleased. Let's see if we can get a photo of that one. Okay guys, that's the end of another video. Closed out with a spinnerbait. Conditions are really against us today, but I'll be thinking about my timing a bit more, I think, as far as when I get out for these little sessions. This is the start, and then most of this one was, with the testing, was midday, so there's going to be always more boat traffic, but that's fine. So yeah, spinnerbait works quite nicely in coloured water. Don't think I proved anything there that we didn't already know, but it's interesting to just see how those little light lures, you know, how kind of like you're able to go actually just with a BFS reel, the Aldebaran. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you all back soon.